Welcome, 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 welcome.
Howdy, howdy.
My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And my name is James Maynard, otherwise known as the Songbird. I'm handling the chat tonight. Please chat with us, and I'll pass your chat on to Beth, and she'll speak directly to you.
That's right, but only if you're here in person, because otherwise I have to chat back through the chat feature afterwards when you've written to me.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so this is Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. The raps is pretty obvious, I'm talking, and then I rock because I'm playing the piano, and I hope you think that I'm rapping and rocking. Anyway, tonight,
I think you rock.
oh,
Granny.
thank you, honey. So tonight I'm going to talk about a very important topic, and you might, I said, well, that's not me, so I don't even have to watch this show. But I bet you it is you. And the topic is forget trying to belong. Do this instead.
Well, I'm intrigued by the do this instead. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would like to know what to do instead.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you that we have a lot of behavior that does not look like it has anything to do with trying to belong. But guess what? It does. That is the first exciting part of this show. Looks like we're
We already have a comment. Blanquita says hello, Beth and James, and sends a couple of hearts of love. Muchas gracias.
Hello there. Hola, Blanquita. Gracias por venir. Whatever I said, I meant it sincerely. And we have,
Oh, yes. Elizabeth says hello and sends caring and a heart of love.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
you.
So, oh, there's another one.
There's another one here. And Tracy says hello and sends caring as well.
Hello, Tracy.
Back at you, Tracy.
Indeed. So tonight I want to talk about belonging. And what I'm saying is that we don't always realize that we are being driven by the need to belong. Now, let's say you're looking at somebody who's trying to be successful,
Mhm.
as an example, and you say, well, what does that have to do with belonging? Well, everything. Because when you are successful, everybody wants to belong with you, right?
What about the ones that resent the fact that you're successful?
Oh, but they want to be with you too.
They want to be like you.
They
want-
just
want
can't-
That success for
They
them.
can't be with you, so they pretend they don't want to be with you, but actually they do want to be with you, because everybody wanted to be with the popular kids. Well, so what I'm really talking about is so many things in our lives are driving us. Now, I'm going to give you an example, and now it's going to bring it home, I hope. And it's an example from my day. This is how I came up with this topic today, you know. So, so we bought not one, but two keyboards, musical keyboards. I read that had an action that was great, and maybe I can play. And you know, I can't. I'm very crippled, very disabled. I can play my fantastic piano, but I cannot play digital instruments, and I want to. And so I tried this. I got one of them yesterday, and I tried it in. I got really crippled, and I got very depressed about the whole thing. So I said, why am I depressed? There's another hello.
Oh, Todd says hi there. Hello back at you, Todd.
Hello there, Todd. So I said, why am I so depressed about this? Well, you know, it's fun to do this, and I would love to be able to do that. But I realized the bottom line.
Which is?
I want to belong. And I'll tell you what that's about.
Mhm.
See, if we have a digital keyboard, we can go out and perform.
Uh-huh.
There's another one.
Nancy says good evening. Beautiful smile tonight, Beth.
Thank you. Well, you know, Nancy, you are so intuitive. Because I feel happy because of my discovery today. And I hope that this makes other people feel happy too. So thank you, Nancy. Mwah. So, and I mean, I was really, really upset and depressed, and So I said, well, I can't go out and perform because I can't take my 9-foot grand piano with me. Most of the pianos out there in the world I cannot play. The action is too heavy, or it's this, or it's that. I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm very disabled, right? I do 2 things in life other than sleep, is I eat and I play the piano. So
And you
anyway,
talk.
and I talk, oh, I do. So anyway, if you go out as a performer, you've got an audience, even if it's only 2 people.
That's right.
And all of a sudden you feel like you belong. You say, oh, you're wonderful.
You got approval, you got validation.
I've got approval, I got validation, but it's more than that. I belong somewhere. And I become a member of the League of Gigging Musicians.
Uh-huh.
I belong. I'm a real musician. Now, if I'm playing the piano on the internet, and I don't even know if people are listening. They say they like it, but a lot of times they're not even listening. So, what I can do? I have some feeling of belonging there. I always have a feeling of belonging when you guys come on to the show and say hi. Like I have a group, right?
Right.
Well, why is belonging so important? Well, let's say the obvious. Survival.
Uh-huh.
Survival, right? When you belong, you're in the puppy pile, you're with other people, you're not alone, facing all the hardships of life by yourself. And sometimes we even let ourselves be abused in order to just not be alone, right?
Mhm.
So there is a real need, and there's another need for belonging, which has to do with love, that we also need a lot of. So belonging to a group, even if it's a small group, gives us both a sense of security and love, right? So belonging is core. So I feel very alone a lot because I'm at home. Thank God I've got James, because I don't leave the house very often, and I haven't, most of my life I've been housebound or bedridden or something like that. So I go out there, and there's a couple of people there, and oh my God, somebody is tearing something up on the floor. Oh, that package. Charlie just got into the package on the floor and is tearing it up. Okay, and the 2 dogs are doing it together because they belong. Can you get that
As a
away?
pack.
Honey, could you get the way away from him before he swallows one of those things and kills himself? And when we're together with our doggies, we have a feeling of family. Now, because we're looking for that feeling, we're always trying to figure out how we're going to attract people to us, or have people let us into their group. So for some people, you want to belong to the popular kids. But some of us want to belong to the rebels, which is more we belong, right? Or we want to belong to the self-righteous ones. Or we want to belong to the unpopular ones. Or, well, we could go on and on. It's so how do we get ourselves to belong to some group? Well, we have to mimic their behavior, right? So we know that I'm a teenager and I have to wear my hat this way, or I have to wear my pants this way, or if I'm a woman, I have to look at the way other women who are popular and considered attractive, how they're dressing, and so then I have to dress like them, or men have to wear suits, or they have to be in the anti-suit mode. They have to wear hoodies.
I can remember back in the 60s when a lot of people wanted to identify with hippies and have long hair. So a whole bunch, almost all the guys had long hair, and almost everybody drove Volkswagens.
Right. That's all about belonging.
That's right.
So you see,
Because they were asserting their independence.
Oh, absolutely. So a lot of our behavior, we don't even realize that we're being driven by the need to belong. We think we're just looking for admiration or we're looking for attention, but we're really looking for those things because deep down inside us, we're longing to belong. Now, why is it that we have such a strong need for belonging? Because most of us don't feel like we belong for some deep or not so deep reasons. For instance, let's say you're a kid and your mother and father already have 2 or 3 kids, and then you come along and it's like, another kid. And yes, they want you to feel welcome, going to try to make you feel welcome, but maybe consciously or unconsciously, they're letting you know that you're kind of a burden. You don't feel like you belong. So then you have to figure out how you're going to belong. So you make yourself very good, or you make yourself very useful, or you make yourself very attractive, or you make a lot of money. You do, because you don't do that at 5. But there are some 5-year-olds out there who are making more money than I am, that's for sure.
Well, you do whatever you can to please them.
That's right. So you start merging with them. Now you don't belong to yourself at all. See, this is the big problem here, is that you're so busy trying to belong to them that you don't belong to you. So, women are like ripping their pubic hair off, or all kinds of stuff that I always thought was completely insane. And, and they said, well, I'm not really doing it to please men. Well, what are you doing it for? Well, because it's this sense of belonging to that tribe of attractive women. And then they get to talk to each other at the salon about whatever, the hairdos or makeup or something. So now, if we don't have that issue of we felt like very welcome by our parents and our family, we might have a sibling who wishes we weren't there. And we lose that sense of belonging. Or we're funny looking. See, like I always had extremely curly hair in the era of Doris Day, and obviously I did not belong. And I have a Jewish nose, which also did not belong. And this and then worse than that, I was so intellectual, I couldn't have a conversation with the kids my age because I wasn't interested in what they were interested in. And on top of that, I was sick, so that I couldn't play with them in the playground, and I couldn't do anything, and I just didn't belong. And so even if you feel like you belong in your family, but there may be other reasons. Maybe you're the wrong color, or you have the wrong accent, or you're the wrong religion for the people around you, and you don't belong. Or you're too intellectual, or you play chess, or you like classical music, or you're too dumb, whatever that means. People think you're different, you're disabled. So that drive the need to belong. So now we go out there and we desperately seek all kinds of ways of creating a tribe, or fighting our way into the tribe. Even if you are like an executive, you're trying to get a promotion to vice president because you want to belong on the 12th floor. Because the executives are on the 12th floor, and you want to belong to the successful group where you believe that you do belong. Or you're royalty. Oh yes, that's so important, to be royalty, right? That means you belong. Like, who cares? So, but this is, oh yeah, and then everybody wants to know who belongs and who doesn't belong, and does this one have a title and that one has a title? This is completely crazy. But everybody's got it sorted out. Oh yes, this one belongs with this. So anyway, what I'm saying to you is, if you look at so many different kinds of behaviors, you can see that the ambition is for belonging. And when you don't have it, it's crushing. So when I could not play these keyboards, I felt like I'm not a real musician. I can't perform in public. I'm not a member of the community because I can't go out and play. I can't play at that church and feel like I have a belonging because I can't bring my concert grand with me. So what do we do about that? Well, I am tired of trying to make you think that I belong. I'm tired of trying to create a place in the world where I can belong. And
oh yes, and Jim says, "Happy New Year, beautiful lady, Shana Tova." All the best to you and James.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim. So glad you're here. Hope that you're hearing the show and enjoying it. And I am having a good New Year. I'm always, changing. So, James, always exactly
yes.
The best. Always the best. People are named James. Anyway, you want to be a part of another kind of it, like the Jewish tribe, or the Muslim tribe, or the Christian tribe, or the Republican tribe, or the Democratic tribe, or the Socialist tribe, or the Fascist tribe, or whatever it is. We have to belong somewhere. So anyway, getting back to what are we supposed to do? So look at the price we pay for belonging. First of all, it's an illusion. No two people are exactly alike. And that best friend of yours is going to dump you the moment that she gets a boyfriend. Or she's in the I don't care about men tribe, and then you can belong that way, but then you have to continually not care about men. It's completely devastating to the human soul to constantly strive for belonging. And it is devastating to the human soul to feel demolished and dejected when you don't. And so here's the thing. We have a couple of ways to deal with this.
Pray tell.
Well, one way is to leave where you are and go somewhere where you do belong. Well, so for example, let's say you're the only black person in the whole city and you always feel like you have to do something to belong. Well, you can move, right? Of course, you might not want to move there because you may not like the people you belong with, but there are very few Jewish people where I live, and I kind of like meeting Jewish people, but I don't really want to have to be with Jewish people because I like other people too. It's very restricted. So you can always try to find people. Like go to college if you're intellectual, or join a chess club if you like to play chess. Okay, that's one obvious
Affinity
thing.
belonging.
Affinity belonging. But now there's another way to belong, to deal with this feeling of lack of belonging. And what you do is you begin to recognize that everybody else has the same issue and that they don't feel like they belong either. So you can start helping other people feel like they belong. And I bet they would like that. And they would start feeling cared about. And you start saying nice things to people. And all of a sudden, you belong because you're actually supporting someone else in feeling like they belong. And there's more coming. You can recognize that we're all the same under the skin. Not just that so many people, you would be amazed. This one thinks that they don't belong because their parent was an alcoholic. This one thinks they don't belong because their parent wasn't an alcoholic. What can I say? Go to a group like AA where people accept you. But also recognize that deep down inside, every human being has the same or similar qualities, needs, fears, and then all of a sudden you'll realize that it don't matter how it looks. You do belong. But I'm not done with you yet. So I want you to think about first the ways that you have tried to do things to make yourself feel like you belong, even when you didn't realize it. And then try to get a sense of why you felt like you didn't belong. Like, okay, you were the only girl of a family of 7 boys or something. But then the best thing to do is to forget about belonging. And instead make a contribution. Refocus. So that's what I started thinking about, Nancy. I was feeling so dejected that I couldn't do this. I'm not a real musician. I can't do this. I can't perform. And then I realized that I was trying to belong, and I don't need to. And instead, what I need to do is make a contribution, whatever contribution I can make to the world I'm in.
So by stopping trying to belong, you stop having that void that you're trying to fill, so you can feel more whole.
And we have a hello from Sophie.
Sophie says, hello, my dearest Beth and James. And she sends a heart of love and smiling face and the yin yang and green. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you, Sophie. So here it is. At the end of the day, it's the idea that we need to belong that is driving us to do stupid things. You know, to strive for something that we can't do, like, oh, I'm going to prove that I can still lift 40 pounds, right? Because I belong to the athletic guys, and, I'm one of them. Or I'm going to stop doing the motorcycles that fly through the air and crash and have people hurt themselves because I'm part of the racing contingent. Always trying to find a place for yourself, a secure place. There is no secure place. You're going to die, they're going to die, all your friends die. That's one of the things about growing old is when you start seeing your friends dying, so you belonged with all these people, but now they're not even there anymore, right? You better find another way. So, and you get back your integrity. You do what you are called to do, and you start feeling good about yourself because you're making a contribution to our world. And that is what really matters. So, there it is. I better shut up. We're about ready to close for tonight. Don't forget, every Wednesday night we are here, lighting the way, or trying. Granny Raps and Rocks, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Try to come on live if you can, so we can chat live. And if you came in late today and you want to hear the rest of the show, you can always click on replay. And please love or like the show, because that gives me a feeling of belonging. And
because you've been making a contribution.
Because I'm making a contribution. But even if you don't like it or love it or whatever, I have to walk away at the end of the day and say, I may not get that feedback that I want, that I belong, that I have this tribe of people that I belong to. But I can walk away with some self-respect. And that's really what counts.
Because you offered what you could.
Because I offered what I could. And that I gave myself value. So follow us on Facebook, because in theory they're supposed to let you know when we're on live, and that'll remind you. And every Thursday night at 7 p.m. we do magical improvs. Beth Green and the Healing Arts Band.
That's right.
And we invite you to come back every week, because you don't have to do anything to belong here. You don't have to wear anything, look a certain way. You just have to say, I belong. And even if I don't, who cares?
Who cares?
I'm making my contribution.
There you go.
So,
Good.
thank you for joining us.
Yes, wonderful.
We love you.
So glad you could be with us. Bye-bye for now.